So you guys might be asking yourself, what's a Neko rig? Well, in this video, I'm not only going to show you how to rig a Neko, I'm also going to show you guys how to fish it. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this. Alright, so what a Neko rig is, essentially, it's a wacky rig worm with a rubber band, a Neko hook, and a weight at the end of your wacky rig. Alright, to start, you're going to get you just a plain wacky rig worm. Nothing special, could be any brand, any color, it doesn't matter. Second thing you're going to need is a wacky rig tool. Now they make a bunch of variables of these. This one right here you can get cheap on Amazon. Most of your bait and tackle shops have them. And what you're going to do with this particular one is you're going to have these little O-rings. These O-rings fit right down here at the bottom. And what you do is you slide it up the tube, and this is where this is going to go in. So you got a hole here, okay? Gonna put this in there, and I go about right where that egg sac would be. So there's the egg sac. All right, so if you're starting from here, it's about a quarter ways up from the bottom. You're gonna put that in there, slide your O-ring up. So basically you have this now. Then you're gonna take a worm weight. This worm weight, you're gonna insert into the bottom of your wacky rig, which is going to turn it into, so as you can see, you just keep pressing in there. They sell a bunch of different size Neko weights. Not really sure what this one is, but what you do is you insert it in the bottom.
Get up in here.
Now when you hold it, as you can tell, that bottom is wanting to drop down further. So what that does is when you're working it across the bottom, this weight is going to pull that head down and allow this tail to naturally just sway back and forth. And as you hop it, that head is going to stay on the bottom as this tail wiggles back and forth. So like I said, I'm using a small 7-foot. This is actually a medium heavy rod, but I got my drag set just a little bit loose. I normally use a medium power. This is a 3000 size Shimano reel. I got braid to a fluorocarbon leader. And you got to use braid. I mean, you don't even got to keep your line tight, and if they hit it, you're gonna know. And like I said, all I'm doing is just working this high spot, kind of just, you know, like I would a Texas rig, just kind of drag this across, popping it every now and then. So this right here is a VMC Neko hook. I believe it's a 2-aught Neko hook. What you're gonna do is right where that worm sac is, there's a little, that focuses right there. There is a little slice where that band is. What you're gonna do is take your hook and you're gonna go right underneath that band, just like that. So whenever you're placing your hook in here, always make sure your weight's at the bottom, your hook point is facing up. So when you go in, you want your hook point to be facing away from the weight. Always remember that. That way, your hook point is always facing up. So when you go to set the hook, you get a good hookup ratio. Let's go. Reel is hooked. Look at that. It's another little good 2-pounder. There are multiple style hooks. There are regular, you know, Neko hooks, and there's also weedless Neko hooks. Depending on the cover you're fishing, it's gonna you know, vary on what hook you're gonna use. You can also, you know, don't limit yourself just to a worm. I've seen guys and girls use creature baits and rig up a Neko rig that way. It's very, you know, it's different. The fish ain't seen it. And also remember, you don't gotta have live scope to use this, guys. This is a great bait just to pitch around. And that's pretty much how you rig a Neko rig. I mean, nothing to it. Like I said, when you throw it in there, that weight's gonna pull that down to the bottom, and it's just, you're gonna bounce it off the bottom, and this tail is naturally just gonna have that movement. All right, so something you may wanna play with you know, you may want to play with the weight that you stick in the head of these so you can change the rate of fall. You know, the good thing about this is you could throw, you know, a wacky rig, but it's not going to sink. So when you throw this weight in there, this allows this wacky rig, for one, it becomes a Neko, but two, it allows it to sink real slow, just like that, kind of like a dying bait fish, right? And you get that natural presentation of this just moving behind there. Looks like a, you know, a dying bait fish, bluegill, shad, whatever. But you can, you know, if you're fishing in deeper water, you can throw a heavier weight in here. If you're fishing in shallower water, maybe you want to throw a small weight. So a lot of these weights come, you know, 1/32, 1/8, something like that, but they're breakable. And what I mean by that is, you see these ridges? A lot of these, you can take these, snap them in half. And now you can make something heavier, you can make it lighter. So you can utilize it for different applications. Rod and line setup. I would get yourself a spinning, most people are going to use a spinning rod for this application. This is a tiny little hook. You don't want to bend this out with a bait caster. So get you like a 7-foot, 7-1, medium heavy, or medium powered rod. This is a 3000 size Shimano reel. I have it with 15-pound braided fishing line. This is Bingo Life braided line. And I tie a leader with an FG knot right there. And you can see above it, right here, that is 12-pound Bingo Life fluorocarbon. It's Japanese material, it's really good. So the braid is going to allow you to throw this Neko rig really far. It's also going to allow you to detect those bites. It gives you longer casting distance, but the most crucial thing is you can feel every bite with braid. So most of the time, when you throw that Neko rig out there and you let it hit bottom, before you tighten up your, line, sometimes you're going to feel a slight thump. That's because what they did was they picked up this Neko rig and they started moving with it. And that vibration traveled through that fluorocarbon, through that braid, and you're gonna feel it in your reel seat. So it's really important to have, you know, braided line when you're using this technique. I'm gonna tell you right now, this bait is a great spawning bait to be using. It's also a great post spawn, you know, around those bass that have already spawned, and you know, you may have some fry garters up there, or you're fishing on some outside grass edges. You know, this is a great bait to be tossing around. Believe it or not, it's also a great live scope bait. It's something the fish haven't seen way out there in 10 to 15 foot of water. So realistically, everyone out there throwing minnows, and you know, you could be tossing a Neko and have it just kind of sinking right down in front of them. Well, I guess it could do that as you're hopping it, but it would be sinking right down in front of them like this. They can't resist it. They're gonna, you know, they're gonna attack it immediately. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you like the video, turn that notification bell on, drop me a comment down below, and stay tuned for the next one.